All right, welcome back to the channel. The 147-pound division, my favorite division in boxing historically, is back on and cracking. As we have two legit guys as champions in the division that I know of, and four total where we should absolutely positively be able to get these fights as Brian Norman Jr. bust on the scene on the undercard of Michaela Meyer versus Sandy Ryan's card. The performance is so excellent. Had to let you know that Jaron, who's going to be fighting Stanionis, and Mario Barrios got to get it on, and it sounds like Brian Norman Jr. is trying to make it happen. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, man, it is what it is. It's about to go off in this 147-pound division because we have a bunch of very, very good young fighters in that division. All of them champions. None of them have a huge name, but man, that division just got deeper. At least throughout the championships, as the championship holders go, as Brian Norman Jr. put on an incredible performance against, I do believe the guy's name was Cuevas this weekend. By knocking him out, I do believe it was in the third or the fourth round, but a spectacular performance, man, from Brian Norman Jr. And after the fight was over, Brian Norman Jr. said, look, man, I want to fight the winner of Jaron Ennis versus Stanionis, and he also wants to fight the guy Mario Barrios, who he said is babysitting the belt. Look, 147-pound division is always, or when the 147-pound division is good, boxing is very, very healthy. It's one of the original 8 weight classes, along with, heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, lightweight, I think featherweight, bantamweight, and maybe strawweight or flyweight are all of the 8 original classes, and then they stuck a bunch of different weight classes in between them over time. But 147 is the weight division that Sugar Ray Leonard was in, Sugar Ray Robinson was in, obviously Floyd Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, this latest generation of them, or Shane, you don't want to leave out Shane Mosley, Pernell Whitaker. Later in their career, guys like Julio Cesar Chavez fought at 147 late in his career. But Manny Pacquiao, it's just a glamour division. And we just got through with one kind of extended tournament that took place where Terrence Crawford wound up, really beating one guy and walking away with all 4 belts. But anyway, he was no longer in that division. So what was going to happen? You have Jaron Ennis, who's got the IBF title. You've got Stanionis, who has the WBA title. The WBO title is Brian Norman, and the WBC title is Mario Barrios. The fight that took with Brian Norman before this weekend, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, Brian Norman, I don't know if they're going to be really quick to put Brian Norman in there with somebody like Jaron Ennis or somebody like that, because, he kind of shocked everybody and got that championship when he got that knockout over Santillan. And then he came back but now he's doubled up and he's got a defended with the knockout win against Cuevas. Hey, man, he's looking mighty good to me. And I thought it was a dominating performance, man. He looked very, very fast, very strong, very quick feet. He's also got a good personality, funny after the show. He said, man, I hurt him a bunch of times. He said one time that he said he hurt Cuevas with a feint, like he feinted him and made his knees buckle. It was funny, man. But anyway, I think that is a really good addition to that weight division. And I hope they do get these fights on sooner than later. As far as what is actually possible, though, hey, man, it could really work out well for Brian Norman because Brian Norman is with Top Rank. He's young. And as far as the Mario Barrios fight goes, Mario Barrios is a PBC fighter. There's word from Bob Arum that Top Rank is in negotiations and talks with partnering with the PBC to put on a lot of events. So if that's the case, then Brian Norman Jr. could slip in there very nicely with a Mario Barrios, and then maybe after that, a couple fights after that, could be right there to fight Jaron Ennis or Stanionis, depending on who wins. Now, my guy, the dude that I think is the best guy in that division is Jaron Ennis for me. People I don't understand why. People kind of soured on him after a couple of Kukadajian fights in which the man won almost every single solitary round of the two fights. But whatever, they're down on Jaron Ennis. Magically, the fake pro Terrence Crawford people are down on Jaron Ennis. Anyway, the dude is every bit as good as I've ever thought he was, but now he's got legitimate competition back to back because if he can beat Stanionis, and can't nobody tell me this man, if he beats Stanionis and dogs Stanionis, that he's not a legit fighter. Unfortunately, Jaron won't be able to, prove himself against somebody that's a lot more seasoned, that this is, kind of like a younger group of people. But if Jaron can get through it or Brian Norman can get through it, then, hey, man, those guys can go up to 154 and start and challenge, a slightly older but deeper, division at 154 pounds. I absolutely love this, man. I think this is terrific. It's kind of like, Errol Spence Jr. gets replaced by Brian Norman, even though don't get mad at me. I'm not saying that Brian Norman is as good as Errol Spence, but I'm going to tell you, man, that dude looks good. He looks sharp, same weight class, very physically fit. Looked like he had his hands, his hand problems are behind him and he's, punching with full powers because as you could clearly see in the fight that he had with Cuevas. The interesting thing for me is going to be, how he would match up with Jaron Ennis, who's older and more experienced than him. But also, hey, man, if Brian Norman stays at 147, all those other guys are coming up to 147 as well, like Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, those guys are coming up in there too. And man, I'm going to tell you, I'll take Brian Norman. I think I'll take Brian Norman over each and every one of those guys. I'll take him over. Let me hold off. The way he looked last night, I think he has a potential to. Let me see him a couple more times. So, I have more familiarity with him, see him in some different circumstances. But, all in all, man, that dude looks excellent in that ring. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.